it might take 10 minutes to actually start recording with my super slow. No, we are good. Angie's muted. Is everyone muted? Yes, good, perfect. Okay, so I'm gonna get started. Hey everyone, it is August 18th, Thursday, I believe. And so we're gonna go ahead and start tonight's team call. Basically, I'm gonna give you a little background on what this is and why we're presenting it to you. So Sally and I were talking this week, and Deanna and Jamie too, and we were trying to figure out what everyone's goals are. We think we know what you guys as coaches, what your goals are, but we're not sure. And then we started talking about ourselves as your upline and your leaders, and we're wondering if maybe we're not doing a very good job leading you guys. Because we feel like I don't know how to say this, we feel like we've given you all the resources that you need, and sometimes it's not a lack of resources, but it's a lack of resourcefulness. We talked about that at Summit. So we're not quite sure if how you're feeling about things or what's going on. So we've talked about goals before, but we wanted to talk tonight about this RPM method for planning things. And I know that sounds horrendously boring. We're going to try to make it as exciting as possible. So basically, there's this guy called Tony Robbins. He is a motivational speaker. He's pretty cool. And he has this method that he calls RPM. It stands for Rapid Planning Method. And to understand that, and first of all, you don't have to worry too much about taking a lot of notes, because I'm going to print or I'm going to post this PDF in the comments of the team call when we go, so you can print the whole thing out. It includes a journal and a small little workbook that goes along with it. So I think you're gonna want that. So basically, whenever you decide to do something, you have to figure out exactly how to maximize what it is you're going to do, right? We talk about that all the time. We talk about eat your frog. We talked about compound effect. We talked about all these different things. Still, I feel like
so something happened to Christine. If you guys are on the call and you don't have yourselves muted, please mute yourself so we can eliminate background noise. If somebody, does anyone hear Christine, or is it just me you guys hear?
Mm-hmm.
Just me? Okay, so I see she's coming back.
Can you hear me?
We can now.
Okay. Okay, I'll keep talking then. We're good?
Okay.
Okay, great.
Yep.
So basically, in order to be successful at something, you have to be consistent, which you know. But sometimes we're consistent and not entirely focused. So you know what you want, but you're not really sure how to get there. So that's where this, RPM method comes into play. So before, it says on here, before you answer the question, what am I going to do? You have to answer, what do I want? So we've talked to you guys before about, what are you going to do? And someone might say, well, I'm going to, advance to Emerald or whatever. But in order to say that you're going to do that, you have to know exactly what you want and change that mindset, so that all the outside demands from our lives, I talked the other day about how life gets in the way, doesn't stop you from, doing what's most important to you. So far, are we so far so good? Am I making sense? Let me get my notes out here. So the other way it's not a time management system, and it really is kind of a way of thinking. We want you to reach whatever goals you have, but we want you to be more focused on the outcome at this time and not just state a blank goal. So think of it more as an outcome rather than a goal, and I think you'll have a lot more, success and results with it. And there are a few steps, of course, to take. Let me see if I can scroll down here and show you guys what the first one is so you can sort of read as yep. So the first step that you need to ask yourself when you're doing this is, what do I really want? So what's the outcome? I just said to focus on the outcome. What's the outcome that you're looking for? So when you're talking to, prospects and challengers especially, we always ask them, what is your health and fitness goal? And they'll say, well, I want to lose weight. No, they need to be more specific. I want to lose, say, 15 pounds. And then, for you guys, if it's business related, what do you want specifically? What rank do you want? Do you want to just earn enough money to cover your Shakeology? Do you want to, to say I want to help people? And that's not specific. So how many people do you want to help in any given week? And then you can go from there. The next thing you need to talk about is, what is your purpose? What's your reason for wanting to do it? And that should be an emotional must for you. It's powerful. It's your why. Okay. We've talked about this 100 times, but you really need to connect with that and figure out what triggers you and motivates you in order to get that, so that you'll turn off all those other factors that we've talked about. TV, Candy Crush, whatever distracts you. My computer is telling me my internet connection is unstable. No kidding. So then we have to move into, and I don't want to bore you guys with all these details, but you have to, after you decide what your purpose is, you have to come up with the M of the RPM method, and that is your massive action plan. And this is not just 1 or 2 items, you guys. This is, I want you to sit down with yourself and brainstorm the possibilities so you can figure out which one has the most power for you guys. Are we making sense so far? So then it gets.
And now
Go ahead.
None of this information should be brand new, right? Like, this should not be the first time you're hearing people talk about what kind of result do you want, what your reason is your why. It's just rephrased differently. The action plan, we talk about putting things into action all the time. But I think if you are still in a place where you're not like having the success that you want to have, and you're not at those points, printing this and doing the exercises is going to educate you and give you some stuff to actually look at and focus at. So
exactly. And so I want to piggyback off that a little bit too. Like, when you are, and I think it'll help you when you're talking to customers and friends and family or whomever about all this stuff too. Like, I'm obviously going to use weight loss as an example. And I can use my own self as an example as well with that. So we talk about how we want to lose weight. And so the first thing I think people think about sometimes when you say I need to lose weight is, I'm going to have to give up ice cream. I'm going to have to give up margaritas. I'm going to have to get up and work out. And it's all negative. It's all negative stuff that makes you be with it initially, but then you want to just quit right away, because results can sometimes come slow and you feel like you're giving up. But if you're connected enough to why you want to do something, for me, it was, I want to be healthy for my daughter. I want to set an example for her. I don't want her to get teased for having a super overweight, mom, those kind of things. And that was enough for me that kept me going. So now with business, I got to come up with another reason, another why that's going to keep me going, and then come up with my action plan as well. So if you think about it in those terms, you'll have success. Otherwise, you'll just minimally have some success and then backslide, which is, that happens a lot. So I'm just going to sort of wrap that part of it up a little, and then Sally is going to talk to you guys, and I think she maybe is going to pick on somebody a little bit. So again, you have to know what you really want, and you have to know what that result is that you're going to focus on. You have to know your purpose, and that purpose should certainly move you emotionally to do whatever it is you want to do, okay? And then you need to come up with your massive action plan and make it happen. Because again, we all know that if you want something bad enough, you'll make it happen, right? If you want it, you'll find a way. If not, you'll find an excuse. How many times have we said that and heard that? It's true. So, okay, I'm going to get off my high horse for a minute, and I'm going to let Sally take over. Go, girl.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
So I just want to draw a little attention to Christine, her reason. Her reason for getting started. Now, Christine was 120 pounds overweight. She started with Insanity, which is insanity in itself, because that program is insane. You have to have something inside of you that says, I need a way out. This is the only way out. I have to do this. I'm going to cry. I'm going to puke. I'm going to be on my hands and knees because I can't do push-ups, and I'm going to do this.
And I did all those things.
Yeah. And that reason is why she's here with her weight loss story, but it's still the same reason that pushes her. And it's not financial. So Christine is still motivated to be a coach and still motivated to help other people because of what it brings to her daughter and her family. She took her daughter to Cancun last year for her birthday. Crazy huge. that's a financial reason, but that's not, she didn't do it for, I mean, she didn't get money for that. It was a vacation, a reward. When you're thinking about why you're doing things. And so if you take time to sit down and think about your specific measurable result, I remember in the past telling myself, okay, I'll be satisfied as a coach when I'm making $2,000 a week. That's measurable. That's very specific. But that's not a reason to do this. That's a benefit. But that can't be my motivating force, right? To make $2,000 a week, because then I'm only focused on money. I'm only focused on numbers. I'm only focused on people, and not even really on what that means for me. So, I'd like to be in a position where I don't have to work full time. Why? So I can travel. So I have a little volunteer on the call who we're going to kind of go through this, and we're just going to, she hasn't seen this before tonight. But I did ask for her permission to invite her to share her RPM with us. So Carlene, please unmute yourself, and we'll just kind of go through the steps and talk through the brain process behind how to sit down and create this action plan to create your results for your goals. Okay. So the first one, having a specific measurable result. What would you say? And Christine, if you want, you can scroll up to that portion of the slide. I don't think I can maneuver that. But, and we've talked about your goals a lot, Car, but after hearing this information from Tony Robbins, what would you say you really want?
Probably, for my measurable goals, I don't want to work full time in daycare. I want to be able to have free time and go do stuff because I'm locked down with daycare.
So when Carlene says that, how many kids does it take to be a full-time and to be able to provide? And then, that's a number. Okay, if I want to go part-time with kids, how many kids does that take away? How much income does that take away? Because we know what she really wants, but we have to figure out, realistically, what that means, right? What does it mean to be able to fire your boss or to go part-time in daycare? And so, Carlene, when you're doing this, I don't know, is she still on? I feel like she dropped off. Okay, there you are. When you're doing this, understand how many kids that means that you can let go.
I already have an idea in my mind, actually.
Good. I can imagine. So every time we talk about this, it's a huge driving force, not because you hate doing it, but it probably takes up a lot of time. Car can't just go on a vacation, right? You can't just take vacation like I could or Mandy could or Christine could. Who's going to come watch the kids that she's supposed to be watching?
It's a big deal.
So then you have a dozen kids who have to go someplace else. That's a huge thing. And so what's your reasoning behind not wanting to have a full-time daycare anymore?
So I'm getting old. No, it's just, maybe it is some of my age, but it's getting more stressful. I want to travel more. I want to be more free. I have such a stress on me. For just example, I have red tattoo that I'm allergic to, and I have to go get a cortisone shot in it every 6 months. I stress out about making this appointment because I have to find a sub to come in and do my daycare or close for the day. And it's dumb because it's an hour drive for this appointment. And I stress out over that. I don't want to stress about that stuff anymore. I want the freedom just to close down on a Monday and go do stuff. Mm-hmm.
That's huge. And if that would impact you for an appointment you have twice a year, I'm sure that would impact a million other things that you have going on.
Yeah, that's just one example.
Yeah. You and your husband, you guys like to go camping. You're very active in the wilderness with fishing, boating. What's the thing that you ride on? Vroom, vroom, RV? Four-wheeler? Four-wheeling. Yeah. And so that's a lifestyle that becomes more fruitful when you're able to have flexibility with your own time. So that's, you know,
I
quality
think
of
it
life,
comes with age too. I mean, Tim's getting older and retirement age is coming up, and I have no retirement plan with being self-employed for 25 years. So it's like I'm kind of looking at that too. So maybe it is per age.
Mm-hmm. So before we go on to Christine's, or I mean, Carlene's, that's crazy how your names kind of rhyme, action plan, does anybody else on the call want to talk about like their reason for wanting more from this? I know Mandy has a really big reason. I've talked to her a lot about it. Here I go, throwing you under the bus. Let's get Mandy to talk.
I don't wanna.
You unmuted yourself already.
I know. I want to go down to part-time so I can volunteer at my kids' school more, so I can see them more. Because I volunteer already, but like after work, it's on my time, and that's hard on us as a family. And so and that's what I want to do.
Are you ever home when your daughter gets off the bus?
Nope.
I can imagine, and I see a lot of people talk about this, like the higher ups in the organization that I follow, about how that is like a huge motivator to like just be there when your kid comes home and off the bus.
I don't get them on the bus either. It sucks. So it's a big deal those days I get to. I make a big deal out of it. If I have shorter days, I can get them on the bus. And Allie starts out getting on the bus on Friday.
And I know Jamie, I've seen Jamie talk about her work title is stay-at-home mom, and she definitely has her hands full with 4 kids, but is there, but I'm sure it has to sacrifice some other things in her life to be able to be there. 4 kids, 4 different ages, 4 different bus schedules probably. I can't imagine how crazy that is. So when you guys are thinking about these things, the 3 women that we just talked to, those reasons, you know, they're more than just financial numbers. And Cara, we've talked a lot about what your action plan is to get to your goals. I know Diamond is a goal right now. And it's not just going to stop at Diamond. You can't just say, hey, I got it. Time to coast. Me and Christine can attest to that is not the case. It goes back and forth, and you really have to never just be satisfied with what your team is at any certain point, because it's an ebb and flow, just like life. It's a roller coaster, and you're always trying to bring in new people who are motivated. And Christine made a post today, just before I have Cara talk about her action plan. Christine made a post today from Anita Myron, who talked about how she got away from the core principles of what our business is organized around. You know, when Carl Deichler got together with other people to create Beachbody and the Team Beachbody opportunity, it's really focused on helping people. And she shared a story about how she got away from it and was only focused on recruiting. And recruiting, and she was recruiting like crazy, but they weren't doing anything with it. She said she recruited 40 people in a month, which you would think, holy crap, no wonder she made 15-star. But they trickled off because there was no connection to us doing this thing and the community and the development and things like that. And so when you have people in challenge groups, they're exposed to our wonderful community. And the ones who keep coming back and back and back and back, those are good people to have coming back and back and back. Because that was a Christine. That was a me, right? I can think about other people on the call who we just liked being in the groups. And I became a coach because it held me more accountable. Like, okay, if I'm a coach, I can't skip out on my workouts because people are going to be looking at me for as an example, you know, and it works. It really does work. So read her thing. It was a longer story, and I have a bad habit of kind of scrolling past those and not really reading them, but it was a good thing. And it's really what we're trying to do with our team is to take things back, focus on being a product of the product and just connecting with people, and not focusing on just being recruiters, because that doesn't work, So, Car, we will, your action plan. So, you said you knew what numbers you needed in order to go part-time as daycare. What does that look like to you in terms of, things that you have to do to get that to happen?
Like Beachbody wise?
It can be anything. I mean, because this isn't just, these goals are not just career-oriented goals with Beachbody. They encompass our entire life. So in your life, what has to happen for that to happen? What do you need to do?
Pay truck we just bought.
Yeah.
That I just put in my garage tonight. But no, I mean, we have been planning and we've got it planned out for that. And the house we've got planned out to be paid off in like 5-6 years. So we have been working on the financial part of it. And my Beachbody originally was going just me for my fund money. Well, now I'm splitting it half between my New Orleans fund and our debt, like our truck payment and stuff. For me to make this work, I got to keep kids full time, probably another year or two in reality. And then from that, I don't have to be full. I used to have, I'm licensed for 12 and I used to have 12 all the time. I won't ever do that again. I just mentally, I can't do that. So Beachbody has already supplemented that income. Mm-hmm. So, within the next probably year or 2 years, I can tone it down to 3-4 kids. And my ultimate goal is to have like daycare 3 days a week and close on Mondays and Fridays or something like that. Go with the school schedule or something. And eventually I've thought about it and maybe even close in my summer month and follow a school schedule, period. Because there's daycares that do that.
Yeah.
As long as you have income in the summer or you don't need it.
So those are really good possibilities. And Cara talked about, to have this lifestyle that she wants. They have the truck they have to pay off. They're focused on their home. I would suggest Dave Ramsey to anybody who is struggling financially with anything. I don't know what you're following, Cara, but I know Leah follows Dave. I've been following it. I know Christine did Dave Ramsey. It's a great, great program if you need help with that. But, also focusing on what you need to do. It's great to just know the numbers that you need to do. And so if she knows how much income she has to make, you have to figure on average, it's good to keep track of the people you talk to. That's why we do the Power of Threes. And Card, I know, does this because I keep talking to her about it. So you can go look at how many people you're talking to. And so if you do the Power of Threes 2 weeks out of the month and you're barely making Success Club 5, that's a clear indication that you probably should do it 4 weeks out of the 4, so your efforts can be doubled. So Christine's at 10. She knows what it takes to get to 10. I'm approaching 10 myself. It takes a lot of work, you guys. It takes a lot of conversations, and they're not just conversations that happen overnight. But as we wrap up this portion of the call, like the RPM stuff, I encourage you to print this out and do it. But I also encourage you to get behind the health bet thing that's going on. I have an event that I've made for it, and oh, thanks, Chris. You may not believe or have a mindset that's in line with mine. I said to Mandy and Cara, I was like, invite 500 people, max it out. And my reasoning behind that is because I feel like if you are going through any lists and you say no for people, you're not giving them the opportunity to want to look at it. Now, when I went through my lists, I have lists of people that I've talked to ever in the past. I invited all those people. So however many that gave me. And then I have my wellness group. I invited all those people. And then I have another list of people who have said no to me. If someone says no, I put them in this list on Facebook. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, I have a YouTube video on how to organize your people into categories. Let me know if you'd like it. It's really helpful. But I have lists for people who I've talked to in German Shepherd groups and all these different groups. So I invited these categories because I have over 3,000 Facebook friends. I didn't just randomly invite everybody. You only get 500. But the reason why I encourage you to do that is because there's been a lot of people who have contacted me and are buying Shakeology to do this challenge. It's encouraging them to do it when they already wanted to try it. I'm like, man, I said no for you in my head. I can't believe you're interested in this. But if I didn't give them the opportunity by just sending them an event thing, and half the people won't even see it. People are so busy. There's so much stuff, right? And I know I talk about, and you see a lot of people talk about being added to unique groups or Lululemon groups or all these things. You're not doing that. You're not adding them to a group. They physically have the option to just ignore it or to say, I'm interested. And if they're interested, reach out to them. You should be making posts about this health bet. We've talked about money posts. We've talked about, challenge group posts. Think about a couple things that you can say over the next week and a half about it. And when people like it or when they comment below it, reach out to them. And if you have no idea what to say in the post or what to say to them, post that question in the team page and we'll help you out with some content. But I made a quick little form that gathers information and I've said, hey girl, I saw you RSVP'd to the event. Fill out this form and I'll get back at you with the next step. Because I had 20 people say they're going, 10 people say they're interested. Some of those are coaches, but I want to filter them and get them to do something. Otherwise, I'm just chasing them. And so I followed up with the rest of them today to say, hey, by the way, I sent you the form. Did you get it? Oh, yeah. And you know how easy it is to open your messages on Facebook when you're at a red light? Right? Because we all do it. I mean, I do it. I try not to do it, but you're at a red light, you're scrolling, you're like, oh, hey, Sally girl, health bet, what's that? And then, oh, gotta drive. Now that indicator that there's a new message is now gone. Life happens, they're home, they're with kids, they're dinner, the husband, yada, yada, yada. They completely forget because they're not like us, going through our messages, keeping track, being on top of our conversations. They're normal people. They don't have time for this. From checking up on stuff that they forget. You know how many times I screenshot things where I'm like, man, this is so good, but I never pay attention to it again. We have to remind them. So when they RSVP, there's nothing wrong. There's nothing gross about a couple days later saying, hey girl, were you still interested? Let me know either way. You can see that they saw it. So everyone who I messaged, oh my gosh, yes, I still want to do it. Okay, fill out the form. And I don't know if 100% of people will do that, but I mean, I don't think that's gross at all. If I was interested in something and I told somebody I want to do this and then I forgot because of life and they reminded me just nonchalantly and casually, I'd appreciate that.
Right.
But I mean, I inquired with a woman a while ago about Rodan and Fields, the face wash. And I only hear from her at the end of the month because she sends me messages every month. Hey, I just wanted to let you know if you were still interested in the exfoliator, there's a buy one, get one scrubby thing, woof, 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 whatever. Here's the link if you want it. And I'm just like, I don't even want it from you or I don't want it at all. Don't do that. But what we're doing is not doing that. So I've made posts that say, who has a P90X dusty on the shelf? Pull it out. Okay, and then when I send them the form, the questions on the form ask them about all these health issues, right? Low energy, digestion problems, whatever. So then that gives me the opportunity to talk about Shakeology as a tool. So I don't know. I hope that helps. If you aren't talking about the health bet, I think you're really missing out on the opportunity to have conversations with people.
I agree. Two things if I can. Sally, can you share, are you willing to share your form or did you already?
Oh my God, I've posted it in the group. Yes, I will post it again. Yes.
And then secondly, just to piggyback off what she is saying very quickly, because we're just about out of time. If you say no in your mind for somebody else is going to ask them. There's enough of us coaches around that somebody else will ask them and they will say yes to that person because you were too chicken shit to do it. So don't be chicken. It's okay.
Yep.
I'll get over your fears now. Okay.
Yep. If they're your friend, you can't assume everybody sees your posts that you're posting. Angie today asked me if I saw her cover photo. No, I have to, heck no, why would I? I disabled my newsfeed because it's a waste of my time. I have to physically go to your page and look at it. And I did, and it's very nice. And I'll send you the message. But you can't assume that because you're putting a post out there, people are seeing it.
Right.
They are not. They are not. My Facebook newsfeed is all people. It's just, ugh. And I'm assuming everybody else is that way. They're only catching the last 2 minutes. So you have to message them.
Yes. Did you guys have any questions on this? On what we mean by it when we're talking about the RPM? What is that? That's a blood work test, I think. For pregnant people. RPM. And what that is and how we can make you understand. And again, please know that we want to support you guys in any way we can as your upline, but we also want you to be able to go out and find some, answers yourselves and learn how to be more independent of us, because the faster you can become independent of us, the more success you're going to have. Of course, we're always going to be a team and we're always going to be there for you. But we want to turn baby coaches into grown-up coaches too.
There's so many resources out there. The team page is the first place I go to. And I do this in the Diamond Mine that I'm in, and any other group. I'm in a German Shepherd group for my dog who's injured. And if I have a question, you know that you can go to the top right-hand corner and there's a search option. So you can search. I'll search, vitamins. I'm having all these issues. And so I've been really doing that. And then I can see all the conversations people have had in the past about that. It's been really helpful. YouTube is amazing. Google is my friend.
Google.
Yeah, everything. So, don't be afraid to post questions in the team. No, that's what we're here for. The leaders, you'll notice maybe, obviously I'm on my computer all day, but I'm giving an opportunity to kind of take a step back and let other people on the team answer these questions. If you send me a private question, I'm not going to answer you. I'm going to tell you to post it into the team page. I don't say that because I want you to go message somebody else. I want you to post it into the team page. There's, and I'm not speaking to you, Tina. You smiled. I'm speaking just in general. I even said this to Amy the other day. Post it in the team because other people have the question. Other coaches can answer that. Be respectful of my time. Honor your own time. And let us help each other as a team. It's really amazing.
Right.
And other people have different opinions and verbiage that they would use. So, Mandy is completely different than me. She may be sweet and nice, and I'm going to curse, and she's not. So that's why you want variety of opinions. But I'm going to take a team photo before we get kicked off. Deanna, where are you at? You guys ever see that broadcaster video where he has the iPad and he's like, where are you at, though? No one's ever seen it?
No.
Okay, it's funny. I'll have to post it. All right. I'm already ready. Is everyone ready?
Mine's frozen. I'm as good as it's going to get.
You're smiling. Don't frown. All right. Got it.
Okay.
So, yeah, let us know if you guys have any questions. I will post the Health Bet form that I am using. I'm sending it to people. They're filling it out. It gives me a way to track who's in my Health Bet. And then I'll even post the messages that I'm sending them and how I'm having the conversations, if that'll help you guys. But it starts in 2 weeks, I think, right? 2 weeks? 3 weeks? 2? I don't know. I'm not good at math. 5 days in September. Yeah, so you have this week for people to order their stuff. Because they need to post pictures of Shakeology. So, But a lot of people I've talked to are like, yeah, man, I got boxes of it. So all those people who stopped buying Shakeology, all the coaches in our downline who stopped, you guys should be using it for the health bet. We can do the health bet too. Everybody here should be in a group making the posts. Why wouldn't you? I mean, it could be $500 or it could be $2. Who cares? It's an opportunity to win money and to be consistent. Why wouldn't you?
Right on, Mama.
Do not tell me if you don't do it. I don't want to know. I'm assuming everybody will be. So thanks, Christine, for the beginning information. Thanks, Cara, for letting me pick on you and Mandy. Does anybody have anything? No? Okay.
Right.
Let us know if you have questions.